Hey everybody, Quantum back here again, and this is actually game number 1 of my Blurple match against my friend Amber Amethyst. By the way, in the description you'll find a link to his video where it outlines the deck profile for the deck he was using if you were interested in that. This Amber Amethyst ink pairing is being used quite a bit amongst some top players. They're experimenting with it, mid-range aggro variations, and the list my friend put together here is very interesting. Of course, there is also the OTK version that is actually viable with the Monstro and the Donald Duck, the new cards from set 8, but that's not what he's on in this video. But as this is game 1, you saw game 2, hopefully. It's probably in the description if you didn't, but I did go first for that game, and I was able to win that game. And looking back at it, it was actually a lot closer than I thought it was. I thought I had a good handle on it, but looking back, there were definitely some dicey moments, potentially some questionable decisions that I made in game 2, but was still able to come out with the win. So in this game 1, my friend, who obviously won the die roll, if you saw that beginning there, will opt to go first. Unfortunately, I did not record game 3. We did have enough time to play a game 3 on TTS, but I think my friend will end up posting it. Game 3 was definitely very interesting. You might want to take a look at that one on his channel. I will post an update if he does post it. But again, linked in the description will be a link to his channel with the deck profile. You can at least go over there and check that out if you're interested. So, on to the match now. He goes first, inking, I think, a goat and playing a daisy. I don't see a popsicle, so I just ink and pass. Again, with this deck, with Blurple, I think you really want to focus on the ramp, and I do have the sail and the Tipo. And in this scenario, the Tipo, I talked about in game 2, how the sail is usually better. On the draw, being able to play on curve, the Tipo is definitely more important, especially into these aggro-oriented matchups, simply because you can see already kind of what I have in my hand. It's going to be the Tipo coming down here because I'm going to need the body so I can pump it up with Crab and start dealing with these Daisy Ducks, right? So we're going to play out the Tipo and end up inking this Monstro from our hand since it's not really too viable for the next couple of turns. They do have a double Daisy, which is pretty strong, but they are only on 3 cards, but this Amber Amethyst ink pairing is able to draw a ton of cards, and this is one of the advantages of it. Similar to Blurple being on the play, being very strong, this deck is also extremely strong. Unfortunately, we miss off of one of those Daisy quests, so the Sail, the Azuret Sea goes to the bottom of the deck there, and we grab a Genie to hand. Turn 4 Genie, turn 3 Genie is usually what you want to establish here, but when your opponent is putting up a board like this, threatening to go to 12 next turn, the game is going to be over quite quickly, and I have to answer this board. So what we're going to do here, of course, is go ahead and dump the Crab on board like we have to. Yeah, ink the bell, play out the Crab. Unfortunately, again, we don't have the popsicle. Having the popsicle here would have been huge also, if I would have drawn into that bell later. But we are going to be able to at least keep the Tipo. So depending on what happens with this Crab, because we do have a Fox, we can bounce the Crab. We could get extra value off this Tipo. We do have a Bell. We do have an Into the Unknown, which can deal with the Genie if he opts to quest with it. So we got a couple of options, but the fast start from the opponent here is really putting us behind the 8 ball a little too much. Yeah, there's just cards in our hand that don't do enough, right? Like that Bell and that, the 2 Genies and the Tamatoa at this point. So again, just some cards that would be inkable. But the Genies, I'm not going to really have an opportune time to play them until I start to stabilize. And this deck is scary because it does play goats, so out of nowhere they can just start getting a bunch of lures. They drop one there. We know that they inked one. Oh, really unfortunate that I missed off of that Daisy there. Drawing that Friends, I guess wouldn't really matter because I'm probably singing Into the Unknown. But if I am able to stabilize that, Friends could be good. But just getting extra ink, extra cards is nice. So missing off 2 Daisy triggers for a deck that plays mostly characters is kind of unfortunate. But the play here is likely going to be Sing Into the Unknown with Crab. Yep, take out the Genie. That's actually very beneficial because we don't have an Elsa, unfortunately, which would have been nice to deal with that goat. But I think, yeah, it's really not a great situation because even deploying the Fox here isn't the best. Like, I can quest with the Tipo. Yeah, well, I think I say, yeah, quest with the Tipo. There's no point in bouncing back Crab right now. I do have a second Fox in hand, so yeah, take out the Daisy. What do I end? I think I end up replaying. I probably ink the Tamatoa here and then replay the Tipo. And what I should do is ink a Genie off this Tipo And I don't think I do. Oh, I do. Okay. Oh, Quantum. Why would you ink the bell? See, this is a mistake. I need, like, why wouldn't I ink the genie there? It's an uninkable card. I'm not having, like, do I think I'm going to start catching up when he's at 11 lore? He's only, I think, well, I guess that's fair because he's only on 2 cards, right? He does have this goat. He can't crash and Rapunzel trap me. So he does play a bell. Doesn't move the damage for anything because it doesn't matter and just passes. So I'm feeling like, okay, that's okay for me. I draw into a 3rd genie here, and that's like really unfortunate. What I need to see here is Hades, and maybe this is why I'm opting to keep the genies, because I'm like, I just need to draw into stuff. Oh, and I draw the Croquet Mallet, which is just like the worst card in this situation because it's uninkable. I mean, Quest with the Fox. I'm not going to play out the other Fox here. Playing out the Croquet Mallet doesn't do anything, but I guess I just put it on board. So after this match for games 2 and 3, I told my friend, I did alter the deck list. I took out the Croquet Mallet, and I think I put in another Monstro. But, you know, it didn't end up making a difference. So yeah, this is why my friend needed these cards to live. So I'm not seeing an Elsa to tap down their goat and being able to take it out. Not seeing any of my Hades, or, you know, I guess I could have inked the Fox, but not seeing any of my, like, actual ability to deal with the opponent's board immediately. And the bell that I inked ended up not making a difference, right? Because I wouldn't have enough damage to move. Gets my friend right back into this game. So, you know, to be fair, like, I think if I would have drawn a little bit better into the mid game here, like seeing the Hades and stuff like that might have got me back into the game. But you can definitely see the limitation of Into the Unknown. I mean, it did come in clutch here, but like if my opponent just sits there with readied characters, I do need to see the Elsa in order to tap stuff down to like either crash into it or use it Into the Unknown. It is singable with everything I have on board, which is very nice, whereas I Let It Go, you know, I have to probably hard cast it because there's not much in this deck that I would want to sing it with or would sing it with, right? Like there's the 5-cost spell, there's Hades. I wouldn't really be singing it with those though for the most part. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get value off that Tipo, crash the goat, crash the crab into the goat, boost up the Tipo to a 4/4/2, and then crash that into the bell. Quest out and ink another Tipo, and I guess I just cycle a Fox here for no reason, simply to get the damage off of it. Like, why not, right? Ready up a Fox, get the damage off of it. And there's no chance that he throws, I mean, I shouldn't say that. There is a chance that he throws the Stitch into the Fox because it could be a Rapunzel trap, right? Take 4 damage onto the Stitch, drop Rapunzel, heal up 3 of the 4 damage, draw 3 cards. That would be devastating. So yeah, bouncing Fox here is definitely the right play. And again, there's no reason not to. The issue is he's got 4 cards in his hand now. And I think in this match he was telling me if I had a way to deal with his 2 readied characters or like one of them and he couldn't deploy the Stitch, he would be like in really big trouble. So the fact that he was able to get that Stitch off is like massive for him. And then he drops the evasive genie. My 2 genies, again, I need to see something to tap down his cards or simply, you know, just Hades something away. The Stitch, while it wouldn't be great, I can deal with it, right? I can, you know, double Fox, crash it or something. But the goat that he deploys here as well just puts me on an impossible situation. Finally seeing Elsa, no Hades though, and this one's pretty much going to be a wrap. A pretty big L for me. You can see though there are opportunities for Blurple to come back into this match. After we finish this game, I think I sifted through like all like the top, like the next 20 cards of my deck, and all 4 of my Hades were in the bottom 20 cards of the deck, unfortunately, and which is crazy to say because I also lost like 2 cards to the Daisy, so I put 2 additional cards on the bottom. So at least in the last like 18 cards were all 4 of my Hades, which, you know, it happens. It happened to my friend in our red blue match. All of his popsicles were in the bottom, literally the same bottom 20 cards, and he definitely was like unable to win a game. Yeah, you can see I'm gonna start flipping through the cards. I'm like, okay, well, my Elsas were down here. There's my card draw. All my Elsas were stacked together there, right? And then, you know, we kept doing it, and the Hades were there as well. But that's gonna wrap it up for this one. You can see the power of that Amethyst Amber deck. It's very, very strong, very aggressive, very good on the play, and can definitely claw back advantage, similar to how Blurple can, thanks to the lanterns on the draw, right, gaining back that ink advantage. So that's gonna wrap it up for this game. Again, you can head over to his channel to check out his deck profile if you want to see that, and hopefully he posts game 3, because game 3 was pretty interesting. I was on the draw and we had some really good interactions. That's gonna wrap it up for this video though, guys. If you made it this far, thank you again for watching. Quantum is out.